Well, welcome everybody who's here from the press, Councillor Shirelli, and a few members of OSEG I see here also. And John Pugh, my partner. John, nice to see you here. Thank you for coming today. Just a quick press release, so I appreciate everybody coming on sort of quick notice. We're just here to be available so that people can see that we're very pleased with the decision of the Court of Appeal that was released earlier today, unanimous decision, as you know. Not only was it a unanimous decision, but it was an extremely strongly worded decision where the Chief Justice went through each and every one of the arguments put forward by the Friends of Lansdowne and categorically opposed each and every one of them in supporting the decision of Mr. Justice Hacklin, who gave his decision last summer. So this was an important milestone for us today to get through, to get this Court of Appeal decision. We were waiting for it for a considerable period of time, but as they say, better late than never. And so it's onwards and upwards from here. I understand that at tomorrow's meeting of FEDCO, Committee Council, that the committee members will be considering a recommendation from city staff to begin some elements, further elements of the redevelopment of Lansdowne. I believe it's the tearing down the Coliseum building, moving the horticulture building, and doing some remedial soil work in the next little while. The goal is to try to stay as best as we can on the construction schedule to be able to be open for the summer of 2014 for football, soccer, and lots of other stuff. So that's really the only thing formal I have to say. I don't know if anybody has questions other than...
Have you been in touch with EPA or CFL officials?
Well, I did get a congratulatory email from Mark Cohan. He's traveling somewhere, so he just sent me a note this morning and said thank you very much, or congratulations on the decision and good step forward. John, I don't know if we've had anything as yet from FIFA. Is it a little quick?
No, we haven't had a note from the NASL saying exactly the same thing. Great news.
Yep, so everybody's excited. And it's just a short step now to actually be playing football. Not really.
And are you on schedule then for, I've lost track now when CFL is to be in?
Well, we're trying hard to be playing football and soccer in the summer of 2014. So I think as everybody knows, Friends of Lansdowne still have a right to appeal to the Supreme Court of Canada, and that could delay that still at this stage. Don't know what their decision is. I certainly echo the mayor's thoughts. I gather he had a press conference earlier today, and he reached out to the Friends of Lansdowne to respect now a second court decision, the highest court in the province of Ontario. But that's something that really be up to them to decide whether they want to continue to pursue this to the Supreme Court of Canada.
Well, there's probably a myriad of hypotheticals. What if? I'm just going to ask one. If the Friends appeal to the Supreme Court, are you looking at it as we've already stuck with this process so far, so we'll just stay and wait for that decision?
Well, the appeal to the Supreme Court of Canada is for a leave application. It's not an actual. They don't have a right for a full appeal. My understanding is that the Supreme Court of Canada would, on very rare occasion, entertain, particularly on such a strongly worded 3-0 decision of the Court of Appeal. So I'm greatly encouraged by the decision that we got today. And I think that the chances of a successful leave to appeal decision at the Supreme Court of Canada would be remote. So if we'd had a 2-1 decision, if we had, you know, a less strong decision, but this is not a case that would be of national concern to the Supreme Court of Canada. So I think this is pretty well the final level of appeal that really makes any sense in my view. But
Right, but you say it's not impossible, so will you stick around your group and just continue to wait, like sort of another legal round?
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say we're waiting. I mean, we've been working very closely with the city, and so the proposal that's going to FEDCO tomorrow is one that we support. It's one that will allow the city to undertake work similar to the tearing down of the South Side stands last year. The city is entirely within its rights, its legal rights to be able to do that. It's work that the city will likely want to do no matter what takes place, whether our plan proceeds or not. So I think that's what comes to FEDCO tomorrow, and that's what doing that work, which is part of the critical path of construction, would allow that would help get the time frame in that we need to meet the schedule that we're trying to meet. Okay?
Sarah, moving ahead, we've seen on the website some retailers who have been possibly interested in Lansdowne.
Mhm.
How firm are those? I know you said in the past that people are waiting to see, okay, what happens in the legal
Mhm.
proceedings. Because there have been some concerns that a lot of those seem to be national chains, whereas this was supposed to be a unique village type of development. So I was wondering if you could just talk about the development going forward, assuming it's going forward.
Well, national chains and unique development don't necessarily, they're not mutually exclusive. I mean, what we're trying to do is bring tenants, retailers, to Ottawa that have not existed or in a format that has not existed in the city before. That was part of the mandate for making a unique urban village, and that's what we're trying to do. To date, I know that we haven't announced firm commitments from a lot of tenants because, somewhat not surprisingly, many of the tenants want to shield from their competitors that they're moving into a project when the project status was uncertain. So until, as recently as 3 hours ago, it's not something that we could have said with the kind of certainty that we can now say to them going forward, that yes, we feel very, very confident that the project's going to be moving forward. So, we've had discussions with tenants, which if all of them signed up, we'd need actually probably another couple 100,000 square feet at Lansdowne to accommodate all of their interests. But again, I'm a firm believer that until they've signed on the dotted line, we have to be cautious and see what will unfold.
And just to update, or just to confirm, who has actually signed that?
Well, the ones that have given us authority to release their names are Empire Theatre and Whole Foods. Those are, I'd have to sort of think. Certainly our expectation is that they're there with a very unique format store that does not exist in Ottawa today. So it'd be those three, and those three are in a sense, the cornerstones of the development. I mean, I know there's been a lot of discussion. You may not have noticed at the last meeting that we came to City Council, we actually now have a much closer working relationship with the Glebe BIA, that we're working in collaboration with them, and they well understand that a lot of the smaller local organizations that we hope will be part of Lansdowne are really ones that won't make up their minds until the last 6-12 months before we open. They just don't plan that far in advance. So we're working very closely with them as well now to try to ensure that we have a cohesive Glebe working together with Lansdowne as a sort of a 660,000 square feet of space to take on the other areas of the city that have very competitive forces against us.
I'll ask another one then.
Sure. Well, these people aren't going to ask any questions, so.
Stephanie might want to, but I'm just wondering what kind of pressure the closing of Sears at the Retail Center has on the Lansdowne development. That's a lot of space in the downtown.
Well, it's a lot of space. I mean, it's the retail space, the retail landscape always changes. It's very dynamic. It's very competitive, and so we faced situations where it's getting more challenging in the retail environment, just from the economic environment in Europe and the United States. We face expansion that have been committed to now both at Bayshore and Saint Laurent Shopping Center. So, I mean, that's the type of thing that we expected at some point, and it's there now. We believe that we have a very unique offering in Lansdowne, something that Retail Center cannot offer, Bayshore cannot offer, and Saint Laurent cannot offer. So these are the types of things that we have to promote. I think we've had people say to us that the confluence of activities taking place at Lansdowne will really be something that's not seen anywhere in Canada. And we believe that with a number of prospective retail customers coming into the area for all kinds of activities at a rejuvenated civic center and stadium, together with all the activities on the urban park, will really prove to be irresistible to a strong core of tenants that we would like to attract as well to Lansdowne. So, I mean, it's a very, very different product that we have to offer tenants. And yes, there will be some tenants who would prefer to be in an enclosed mall and they will go there. And others will prefer to be in an open-air environment, that we have a unique urban village that will be proposed will be at Lansdowne.
You good?
Any other questions? That's it? Okay, thank you for coming out.